Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another late, super duper late show. Um, I found this. This article came out an hour ago. And I wanted to show you just because it does relate. All right, let's go. Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for coming back. It says here emergency crews spent Sunday afternoon working to recover a body that was reportedly found floating in the Cumberland River. According to the Nashville Fire Department, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency told the Office of Emergency Management that crews saw a body floating down the river right before the Martin Luther King Bridge on Sunday, March 17th. Fire officials said the individual surfaced from the water wearing a maroon colored shirt and does not fit the description of the missing student. In a statement to News 2, an NDF spokesman said OEM crews launched a boat with Metro Nashville police officers on board to recover the body. The identity of the individual has not been released. Officials said the TWRA would remain on scene. No other information was immediately released. So that's that body. That's that body they pulled out, unfortunately. So not Riley Strain, but unfortunately another person whose family may be looking for them, unfortunately. Let's watch this thing.
Earlier today, emergency crews recovered a body found in floating in the Cumberland River. The body does not fit the description of missing student Riley Strain. TWRA crews saw it floating down the river right before the Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge. Fire leaders say the person surfaced from the water wearing a maroon-colored shirt. The identity of the individual has not been released.
There you go. That was basically what I just read out.
Earlier today,
Hold on.
emergency
There we go. Paused it. There you go. They did find a body, but it was not Riley. It was someone wearing a maroon shirt, and I heard it was a woman. I read this was actually a woman's body, but we'll find out when the medical examiner tells us one way or the other, I guess. Just checking Melbourne for a second to see if there was any latest news. No news about that unfortunate person this morning. They're just saying that there'll be a report made for the coroner, which is, yeah, very sad. Very sad news. Okay, let's get to our other story. Let's find out. Actually, there was a bowler, and I want to check it quickly. There was what do they call it when you have an elderly person? Is it like a gray alert? Oh, that's really sad. There was a bowler put out this afternoon. It was for an elderly woman. And yes, it says Madry Swenson. She went missing last seen 2:30 p.m. near her home at 15 Oak Road in Route 10 near West Lebanon. Family members say she has dementia. But unfortunately, a few hours ago, they released a statement saying, body found in Connecticut River is woman who went missing from Lebanon, according to authorities. So she was found deceased, unfortunately. She suffered with dementia. How sad. Let's see this update.
Police say they got a call from someone who was fishing over here of a possible body in the water, and Lebanon Fire made that recovery. The search for 76-year-old Marjorie Swenson came to a tragic end on Sunday when investigators say she was found dead in the Connecticut River.
We received a call from a gentleman that was fishing in the West Lebanon area of a possible body in the water.
Swenson, who had Alzheimer's, was reported missing early this morning. She was last seen inside her Oak Ridge home wearing her pajamas.
According to the husband, she was in bed at 10 o'clock, soundly asleep. And when he woke up at 2:30 a.m., she was no longer in the house, and that's when he called.
The community quickly jumped into action, joining rescue crews, local police and fire, a state police helicopter, New Hampshire Fish and Game, and canines to search through the wooded area near Swenson's home. Fire crews in Vermont also helped with the search.
We're really thankful for the support we received from the community. We had a lot of civilian search and rescue members that arrived with their personal canines that assisted in the search. We're very grateful to the New Hampshire State Police for providing their air support of their helicopter. which played a huge role in the recovery.
Police say right now no foul play is suspected, but they are still investigating. In Lebanon, Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
How sad. What a tragic end to that story. I mean, that's horrible that she was apparently in bed at 2:30 a.m., but she walked away from her home and then they found a body in the river Sunday afternoon after fishermen called to report what they believed was a body in the water. How very sad. Um, they say, "We're really thankful for the support we received from the community. We had a lot of civilian search and rescue members that arrived with their personal canines that assisted in the search. We're very grateful to the New Hampshire State Police for providing their air support of their helicopter, which played a huge role in the recovery. A missing vulnerable adult silver alert was issued but cancelled Sunday afternoon." How sad. That's really awful. That's someone's grandma that, didn't come home and somehow ended up in the water. There'll be probably a report made for the authorities in that area. That's not very nice. They're not the stories we want. Let's see. Luck says, "No, that is heartbreaking. I worry about my grandpa with dementia a lot. He is a sole caregiver." Yeah, it sounds like this lady had a partner that was helping her husband. Hold on. Sorry, someone's messaging me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, very sad. I can't believe that. Yeah, since she had a husband. In that news report, they said like she was at home in bed and then she was seen, and then in the morning, not there anymore. Ah, damn. Hold on, what's this? Missing woman Ashley Turcot last seen in Barnstead found dead, police say. I don't know if we covered this one. She was last seen January 4th. A wide-scale search started Saturday morning. Turcot was found in the woods off New Road, near where police said her car was found abandoned with some of her personal belongings inside. They said it's a very unfortunate outcome, but at least we got some closure for the family, and really that's what we've been looking for at this point, according to the police chief. Authorities said her death does not appear suspicious and there is no signs of foul play. So she died from the elements? That's really awful. It says authorities said her death does not appear suspicious. There is no signs of foul play. There's no reason to believe that there is any criminal element to this. We want the public to know there is no reason for concern. A snowstorm following her disappearance made it difficult to search the area, but recent warm weather cleared the snow and allowed teams to search the woods. On Friday morning, a reverse 911 call and text alert went out to Barnstead residents to let them know there would be an increased police presence over the weekend and not to be alarmed. They said they were doing line searches. It's a slow process. It's systematical. The searchers are given grids to search. With the search now over, no signs of criminal activity. The investigation is in the hands of the medical examiner. That's awful. Ashley Turcot. I mean, we could have covered her. I just can't remember. Let's see.
Search teams returning to the Barnstead Fire Department after hours of trudging through the woods around the town center. Investigators telling News 9 one of the groups found the body of Ashley Turcot, who'd been missing since January.
It's a very unfortunate outcome, but at least we've got some closure for the family. And really, that's what we were looking for at this point.
The remains were found in the woods off New Road, not far from where police say Turcot's car was found abandoned with some of her personal belongings inside. Barnstead's police chief says there's no signs of foul play and the death is not considered suspicious.
There's no reason to believe that this is there's any criminal element to this. We want the public to know that there's no reason for concern.
Investigators say a snowstorm just after that disappearance made it nearly impossible to search the area, but recent rain and warmer weather have allowed search teams to comb through the woods.
It's a lot of manpower. Doing line searches just is all manpower. It's a slow process. It's systematical. The searchers are given grids to search.
With the search over and no signs of criminal activity, the investigation is now in the hands of the medical examiner's office. In Barnstead, Ross Ketchke, WMUR News 9.
There you go. I don't know what killed her then. Maybe she had a medical event while driving, or maybe she just got lost in the in the elements and succumb to the wilderness. That's horrible. And they couldn't find her because of a snowstorm that happened just after she went missing. And that meant they couldn't search that area. It was too hard to get into. Poor lady. I hope at least her family were able to get her back. You know, so some of these families never get their loved one to return and have a funeral, that type of stuff. They don't get it. They just don't get that anymore. It's horrible. That's not the type of story we like to read. All right, let me say hello to people. Hey, retired Irene, good to see you. Diamond Heart, Green Eyed PI, JS the cat made it, and Lux, and who else? Diamond Heart, good to have you. Who else is here? Charisma and Juniper and Bees Are Life and Sienna. Sean was here. Did I miss anyone? Probably. Burnt Popcorn. All right. Good to see you all. Glad you could make the late show. The super late show. All right. Let's see if we have anything new for you. Let's see. Hold on. Why do people do this? Someone keeps messaging me. I don't know why they do that during the show. Shell Huffman, hey, good to have you. Retired RN says dementia is such a hard disease. It is, especially when I don't know, that lady just seemed like she did have some support and someone was keeping an eye on her. And look, she still was able to get out of the property. It's bad, you know. It's the fact that, you know, someone was there with her and still was able to get out of that place and disappear. It's not what you want to hear about. You want to hear that she just wandered down the street and someone walked her home to her house, but that's not what happened. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this. Human remains found in backyard of Jacksonville home after owner discovers toes sticking out of the ground. What? No, I don't want any toes in my ground, thank you. It says police were investigating Thursday morning after human remains were buried in a backyard of a Jacksonville home. The owner of the home, located on Sunny Acres Drive in Magnolia Gardens neighborhood, said he discovered toes sticking out of the ground as he was doing some yard work, according to a woman who was helping the owner with the yard work. We were working inside the house and then the owner came to us and said, "Hey, there is something here. We have to call 911. I said, "Okay." I was shook, the woman said. The source shared photos with News 4 Jax of what appeared to be a human foot sticking out of the ground. They were all black and stuff, I guess, from decomposing. I just hope that everything gets solved. My reaction to this craziness is that I would never expect this, especially at the house I'm working on. Yeah, that's crazy. It says workers told News 4 Jax that they were doing renovations at the rental property when they made the gruesome discovery. Bloody hell. People don't understand. Stop messaging. It says JSO said they were called to the scene Wednesday night. Florida Gulf Coast University forensic team, along with the JSO, were on the scene for hours conducting their investigation. News 4 saw 3 blue tents in the backyard where investigators were sifting through the dirt. Cassandra Womack, who has lived in the neighborhood for 7 years, said she was shocked by the news. She said, "This is a quiet neighborhood, so this is something that rarely happens. I still feel safe here, and we all know each other. We're like family. It's now up to the medical examiner's office to determine who this person was and exactly how they died. The body tells you everything about a case, and in this particular case, when it's a buried body, there's some extensive level of decomposition. Hackney oversaw these type of investigations throughout his nearly 30-year career in law enforcement. He said this is a meticulous process that may take days." All right, let's watch this little video.
Right now at 5, Jacksonville neighbors stunned after human remains are discovered. They were in the backyard of a Magnolia Gardens home under renovation.
That's exactly what he's seen, the toes coming out. Like an animal was just excavating, the hole, and I don't know.
Well, now police are working to identify those remains and to determine what exactly happened there.
Our Sky 4 helicopter flew over that site at Sunny Acres Drive, just off West 45th Street. The street is located in the Magnolia Gardens neighborhood in northwest Jacksonville. Workers tell News4Jax they were doing renovations when they made that discovery. News4Jax reporter Ashley Harding is live from the neighborhood with what investigators and neighbors are saying tonight. Ashley?
Yeah, these people are beyond shocked. It's now up to the medical examiner's office to determine who this person was and exactly how they died. I will tell you, we are now in the backyard. In the last few minutes, the homeowner came by and he allowed us to come back here. And that is the spot right there where that person was found dead. You know, I talked to the homeowner on camera a few minutes ago, and he tells me he has no idea who this person is. He's just as shocked as everyone else. Neighbors say they never imagined something like that.
That's a very shallow grave. That's very, very low. That's not very deep to put a body, right? Am I crazy, or like that's pretty little? Like you can see where the dirt has been disturbed. That's not very big. Like you can see the outline. There's something wrong there. How did you not know there was a person in here if it was only like a foot deep? Something not 100% right on there. Because, yeah, it would have to be a lot deeper to be a full human. You know, this would be considered a shallow grave. You wouldn't just be like sweeping the floor and being like, oh my God, I uncovered a foot. You'd be like, why is that mound over there look so weird? It wouldn't be, yeah, is there something a little off? Yeah, if there was a toe sticking out, I know. Hold on. All right. Yeah, something a bit off about that hole. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, it looks a little strange. I don't know how you would.
Homeowner came by and he allowed us to come back here, and that is the spot right there where that person was found dead. You know, I talked to the homeowner on camera a few minutes ago, and he tells me he has no idea who this person is. He's just as shocked as everyone else. Neighbors say they never imagined something like this happening in this community. Tents in the backyard, forensic anthropologists sifting through dirt. For hours, investigators lined the street in this Magnolia Gardens neighborhood. It all started with a discovery no one expects to make.
It looked like toes. They're all black and stuff, but I guess that's from this decomposing.
This woman did not want to be identified, but told News4Jax she was doing renovations at this house when the owner spotted those remains.
We're working inside the house, and then the owner came to us and was like, hey, there's something here. We got to call 911. I'm like, okay. I was shook.
What goes through your mind seeing all this and hearing someone was found buried?
Do I need to find another place?
Cassandra Womack has lived here 7 years and is shocked by the news.
And this is a quiet neighborhood, so this is something that rarely happens. I still feel safe here because we all know each other and we're like family.
A closer look from our drone shows the exact spot where they'd been digging.
The body tells you everything.
The lady said she still felt safe. I mean, unless you end up in that hole and it's your foot, I mean, you might be not safe then. That's a bit odd. It's a little strange, a little odd. Look at that. I just think there's something like, that's a very small hole to put a whole human. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's like a kid. It is Florida. It's not a Florida man. It's a Florida hole. It's a Florida hole. You know, today, a Florida hole. All right.
Thing about the case, and in this particular case, when it's a buried body, you know, there's usually some some extensive level of decomposition.
News4JAX crime and safety analyst Tom Hackney oversaw these types of investigations throughout his nearly 30-year career in law enforcement. Hackney says this really is a meticulous process. So it could be a while before we find out who this person was.
It may take days before they actually get to the point that they can render a decision that gives to the investigators who this is. Investigators want that quicker because, again, when you start that murder investigation, to figure out who somebody is, that's the first piece of the puzzle that you need to try to figure out what happened to them.
Neighbors just hope there will soon be answers.
And that's a hurtful feeling, having somebody that's lost and you don't even know what's going on with them.
Just hope everything is, gets solved. My reaction.
Let's see if we can find out more. Jacksonville home. All right. Let's see if we can find out anything else about the owners. You'd have to think it was the previous tenant. It would have to be. WFLA 3 days ago, 11 hours ago, Fox 59. Let's see. Police are investigating after human remains were found buried in the backyard of a Florida home Wednesday night. It says, Nexstar's WFLA, the sheriff's office said that because of when the remains were found nearly 7 p.m., authorities maintained security of the residents throughout the night. The owner of the home was reportedly doing yard work when he discovered toes sticking out of the ground. Apparently, the Florida Gulf Coast University forensic team was working alongside the sheriff's office for hours on the scene. Authorities have yet to identify the remains, but family of a missing man since mid-February showed up on the scene. Okay. Closer.
Hey everybody,
Who was the missing man since February? Here. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office investigated for more than 12 hours after the remains of 2 human feet were found in the backyard of a home in Magnolia. So it's only 2 feet. It's not a whole body. That is odd. Oh, the family of Sabion Dowell showed up in the hopes that they're his remains. Okay, who's that? He's been missing since February 15th, and that she and other family members show up at the crime scenes involving unidentified bodies in the hopes that the body will be that of Dowell, so the family can be, have closure. Wow. I hope for their sake it is, and it isn't. Because that's an awful way to find your loved one. Let's see. It says Brene Fountain said this is not normal behavior from her brother, Sabian Dowell, in context of his disappearance, according to the missing person report. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing 23-year-old man who was last seen by his sister on February 23rd, according to the missing person report. He was reported missing the same day he was last seen by his sister after an officer met with her. It said Dowell's sister, Christina, said Dowell didn't let her know where he was going. As the report states, he was last seen leaving a residence on foot on February 23rd at 5 p.m. Another sister, Brene, said this is not normal behavior from her brother in context of the disappearance. He usually gets in contact with family members when he's gone for a long period of time, and that she had not seen or heard from him since February 20th. He was last seen wearing a black pair of Jordans, a black and white and blue SpongeBob hoodie. Unknown what area of Jacksonville he might be in. Maybe it's him. That would be something. Let's see if this news report has any new information. Because why would it only be feet?
glad that you're with us tonight. Thanks so much for joining us for First Coast News at 5. I'm Jeannie Blaylock.
And I'm Anthony Austin. Our top story on this Thursday, police investigating a scene where human remains were found earlier today. This all happened at a home on the northwest side of Jacksonville. And we are working to gather more details for you. Tonight, our Rich Donnelly is on your side. He's joining us with what he's learned so far. Rich, tell us the information you've received since you've been out there covering this story.
Well, Anthony, I can tell you, I just spoke within the last 5 minutes to the owner of the property, and he says that he took control of this property about 2 weeks ago, but just last night, while he was renovating the property, he found what he believed to be the remains of a human in the back left corner of his backyard. JSO has been here since last night. They just broke down within the last couple hours from the scene. But I want to bring in our crime and safety analyst, Mr. Ken Jefferson. Ken, you spent years with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, so you know many of the ways that they work. What are some of the crucial manners in which they can preserve evidence while they're uncovering it to look for more evidence, try to identify the body as well as the mode of death?
Yeah, so after scouring around since I got here, there's no police tape up, there's no crime scene units here. So obviously, police has spent quite a bit of time collecting and preserving evidence as it stands right now. Of course, they exhumed the remains that they found anyway. So that from there, it goes to the medical examiner's office for a thorough investigation, an autopsy, to try to determine the cause and the manner of death, as well as the identity of the individual. So they've obviously gotten everything they need so far to continue with this investigation. From that point on, Rich, they've got to talk with everybody involved with this property, be it the owner, be it a tenant. They're going to talk to neighbors. They're going to go wherever the evidence leads them or the facts lead them. So they've got their hands full right now.
Earlier when we were here, we saw multiple crime scene vans, about half a dozen of those. We also saw 3 different medical examiner vehicles come here. Is most of the investigation here on site? You did allude to going back to their office. How much can be done here versus how much quality investigation can be done back at the office?
Well, they have all the supplies and tools that they really need back at the offices, at the ME's office. The crime scene unit will turn over everything that they have to the medical examiner as well, but they'll also preserve it as evidence in the event that they bring a case against someone. They'll have to have all that information there. But if they had that many crime scene units out here, that means that they have a ton of things that they've collected right now. That's why you don't see anybody out here as far as law enforcement, because they had extensive manpower out here collecting and preserving that evidence.
Ken Jefferson, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. And coming up,
I'm trying to see if they released anything new in like the last day. I don't see anything. It's very strange. Like no ID or anything like that. I'm just having a look here. See, there's nothing. This was 11 hours ago, but nothing. Human remains found in Jacksonville. Here, I'll type it into Twitter. Maybe someone got a name. Let's see. Let's see, anything? 8 hours ago? 5 hours ago? They have reported stuff in like the last 8 hours, but nothing that they didn't report on Thursday. They just said an investigation is underway. Human feet found sticking up out of the ground. But no identity. It says Sheriff's Office in Jacksonville still investigating after human remains found in Florida backyard. No, it's weird. The last article they wrote was from WREG. And it's just the same story that I told you. News for Jax. Maybe they got something on their front page. Let's have a look. No, they're talking about the shooting in downtown Jacksonville. It says 3 people shot, 1 dead following shooting at Jax Beach, but nothing about the remains found the other day. Okay, people. I have no idea. I don't know why you'd only bury the feet and where's the rest of the body. Like Green-Eyed Pea said, maybe dig up the rest of the yard. Maybe the rest of it is deeper. Green-Eyed Pea says, wonder if it's a man or a woman. Maybe if it has painted toenails, they might be able to guess. I mean, men do that too, though. Stefan, hey, Stefan. Hey, good to see you. Hey, glad to have you. Hey, Beth B. Good to have you too. All right, I don't have anything else. Oh, actually, what is this? I have a document. What is this? A charge sheet? Maybe that's what this is. Let me see if I can download this. Okay. What is this? All right. It says Jacksonville Sheriff Office incident information. Incident occurred in the parking lot at this location. No. Incident occurred outside location. What is it? I notified PIC Crocker. He notified homicide and they responded. I observed 2 feet sticking up out of the ground. Okay. It says information report closed. Detective is going to follow up. It says body worn camera footage. Yes. So they've got it on camera footage on the body cam. Does this incident qualify as cargo theft? No. Okay. Is there additional information on the continuation report? No. Are there any pertinent reports? No. Case card left with not applicable. Okay. I know a person called not applicable. They're a friend of mine. That's it. Just that they witnessed 2 feet sticking up out of the ground. There you go. So it was just 2 feet. 2 feet buried 1 feet. There you go. There's your tongue twister for today. 2 feet buried 1 feet. Dig up the feet. Alright, it's not funny. Homicide's not funny, Ping. She can't make fun of people like that. Yes, alright. Let's continue on. Let me see what else we have to talk about. If I get more about that, you better believe I'm going to get it to you. Because that is very strange. I want to know where the rest of the person is. People just don't lose their feet and go, yeah, man, I buried them in the backyard. Just thought that was the safest place for them. No, they don't tend to do that. All right. What else do we have? Oh, is this an update to the one we read last week? Let's have a look. Man arrested at Southern Utah hotel for human trafficking, sexual exploitation charges. A man was arrested in Southern Utah after police said he was forcing a woman to perform sex work in exchange for money, food, and hotel rooms. Washington County deputies began checking hotels on March 7 for a vehicle belonging to the suspect, 33-year-old Denzel Waddy. He was allegedly wanted for a felony strangulation case in Virginia and traveled with a female who could be in danger. His vehicle was seen at approximately 10 p.m. on March 14th at the Coronado Inn Suites in Georgia, St. George. Police found Waddy and the endangered woman at the room there, and Waddy was arrested for the felony warrant out of Virginia. Investigators said they later learned that Waddy was forcing the woman to perform sex work in exchange for money, food, and hotel rooms. When he found a room for the night, he told the woman she was going to need to work for it. He was also accused of physically assaulting her, including strangling her, burning her with a cigarette when they were in Las Vegas a few weeks prior. Waddy also reportedly told the woman, "If I can't have you, no one will." He was arrested Thursday on first-degree felony charge of aggravated human trafficking and a second-degree felony charge of human trafficking for sexual exploitation. To report potential cases of human trafficking activity from your phone or computer, visit utiptaskforce.org and fill out the Leave a Tip form. Citizens can also use the Attorney General's office secure tip line if they would like law enforcement to take a closer look at a situation. 801-200-3030 3443. There you go. That's so awful. So he was forcing her to commit sex work in exchange for items, housing. It's awful. And he'd already been done with a felony strangulation case out of Virginia. No wonder they thought she might be in danger. She probably would be next on his list. Okay. I want to see if we have an update. Do you remember we spoke about a 12-year-old boy who was found dead in Montana? They said they were going to do an update on that, and I want to see if they have anything. NBC Montana. Let's have a look.
Police say a case involving a missing 12-year-old boy is now upgraded to a homicide investigation. Authorities found a body in an outbuilding on the 900 block of Terry Avenue while serving a search warrant. The body is believed to be that of the missing boy. Officials say a 13-year-old boy and a 19-year-old man were detained in the case.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us live at 5. Just in before showtime today, the city of Kalispell dispatched SWAT for a reported disturbance with a weapon. Officers arrived on scene and spoke with the victim, who reported her boyfriend, 31-year-old Nathaniel Wood,
Wait, that's not the same
pointed a
story.
firearm at her. Kalispell Police Department
Hey,
worked to
give me back
negotiate
my
a surrender,
story.
but Wood refused.
Nope, that's the wrong one. It says Billing police say the case involving a 12-year-old boy reported missing March 7th has been upgraded to a homicide investigation. Officials found a body Friday in an outbuilding on the 900 block of Terry Avenue. They believe the victim is the missing boy. Police say a 13-year-old boy and a 19-year-old man were detained in the case. The 13-year-old is charged with tampering with evidence. Billings police released the following information. This release is regarding information for CNO 24-150 32. A missing person report has been upgraded to a homicide investigation. On March 7th, the Billings Police Department took a missing person report for a 12-year-old juvenile male who ran away from a relative in the Billings area approximately 2 weeks prior and has not been heard from since. The case was assigned to the BPD Investigations Unit, who worked collaboratively with the BIA. Leads for the victim's whereabouts were followed up within Billings area as well as in the area prior. While serving a search warrant at a residence in the 900 block of Terry Avenue, during the morning of March 15th, detectives located a deceased person hidden in an outbuilding on the property. The body at this time is presumed to be that of the missing juvenile. At this time, BPD has arrested a 13-year-old male who has been charged with tampering with evidence and has been remanded into custody at youth services. Man, a 13-year-old kid, unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. 13 years old, that's all. It's very young. Very young. Guys, give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry, had a random number calling me. 13 years old. Let's have a look. Trying to see if we have any more information on him. Let's see. No, I think it's the same one we read about last week. I think that's about all they've released since then, unfortunately. Unfortunately. By the way, I want to thank Green Eyed PI for your donation. That is very kind of you for such a late show. I appreciate it. It's extremely kind of you. All right. Let's see what else we have for the late show. What is this? Body of Osgood man recovered from Vesali's Lake in Ripley County. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources. Hold on, let's show you. The, Indi- the Indiana Department of Natural Resources recovered the body of an 18-year-old Carson Hughes from Versailles Lake in Ripley County on Sunday night. According to a press release, conservation officers found Hughes in 6 feet of water by utilizing sonar devices. The Ripley County coroner pronounced Hughes dead at the scene. Officials will conduct an autopsy to help determine Hughes' exact manner and cause of death. Hughes was reported missing on Friday evening. The DNI indicated that conservation officers found his vehicle near a boat ramp in Versailles State Park. Officials disclosed that Hughes' vehicle was unlocked with the keys inside when they found it. An empty kayak was also seen resting in the nearby water. Oh no, so he drowned. That's awful. Too many people dying in water. Let's see if there's any more on this poor man. They did an update just before his body was found. Here.
Date for you tonight out of Ripley County. That's where Indiana conservation officers have found 18-year-old Carson Hughes dead in Versailles Lake. That's inside Versailles State Park. The well-known wildlife photographer from Osgood was reported missing on Friday afternoon. Agencies from several counties, as well as hundreds of volunteers, assisted in the search for him. We are told he was found just before 7 o'clock this evening in about 6 feet of water. Officers had to use sonar to locate him. An autopsy will be done to determine his exact cause of death.
There we go. What happened? Why are you
Many of you have asked.
All right, there we go. Yeah, says the Indiana Department of Natural Resources recovered the body of the 18-year-old from the lake in Ripley County on Sunday night. That's very sad. That's a well-known wildlife photographer. Okay. 18-year-old Carson Hughes. I can't say I know his work, but if he was that well known. Oh, yes, I see. His family reached out. 812 now. Let's have a look. There's a photo of him. How sad. Very young. Yeah, he had his whole life ahead of him. It says the family of Carson Hughes has reached out to the 812 to share that the search has come to an end. The 18-year-old was found in the water at the state park on Sunday after a search that began on Friday. Carson was on Jacksonville Sr., who had an incredible talent in so many ways. He became involved with the 812 because of his amazing wildlife photography skills. Here's some of his work. This is some of his work, and I guess he was out on the kayak to try to do more of this, more photography. There's some very nice photos. It says he was also a member of the Jacksonville basketball team and planned to go to Purdue next year. While this is nothing short of a tragedy, one blessing that Carson gave is showing how special Southeast Indiana is. Hundreds of people volunteered to aid in his search over the weekend. Social media has been overwhelmed from the amount of support from the area. Homeowners are displaying red and blue ribbons in his honor. Schools like Switzerland County are encouraging their students to wear red and blue tomorrow in honor of Hughes. We don't all have words right now, but Carson was a very close friend of the 812. We will certainly be doing much more to honor him. Wow, life cut short, and they're not even sure why. Just somehow he ended up in the water and wasn't able to recover. Shows you water can be dangerous even if you have a kayak and you know the area really well, and it's sad. Very sad. All right. Let's see what else I have for you. This one.
About the breaking news this morning. Once again, Charlotte police have arrested the suspect accused of murdering 22-year-old Markayla Johnson and her 2 children. Detectives say 35-year-old Benjamin Joseph Taylor had fled to Imperial County, California. He was found Saturday with the help of multiple law enforcement agencies. Taylor is awaiting extradition to North Carolina. He faces 3 counts of murder and 1 count of concealment of death. Johnson and her children were originally reported missing on March 3rd.
Officers found their bodies Friday afternoon when conducting a search warrant. And we want to tell you about the breaking news.
Guys, give me 1 second. Hold on. Alright, they said a man was arrested. Hold on. Maybe I can show you. If I can find the right story. No, that's not it. Here. It says a man suspected of gruesomely killing a Charlotte mother and her 2 children has been arrested in California. Charlotte Mecklenburg police said on Sunday. Benjamin Taylor was located, arrested, and booked around 10:19 p.m. in Imperial County, California, close to the Mexican border and not far from San Diego on Saturday. He is charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of death concealment. He is currently awaiting extradition to North Carolina. The Imperial County Sheriff's Office and the local California FBI office were also involved in the arrest. The human remains of 22-year-old Michaela Johnson, her 2 children, 4-year-old Miracle Johnson, and 7-month-old Messiah Johnson were found at the Northeast Charlotte home on Friday afternoon. How sad. Look at the little kids, just babies. The relationship between the suspect and the victims is unclear at this time. Authorities previously said they were looking for a suspect who may have been Johnson's boyfriend, who is to say that a man that she thinks that she's going to love was going to kill her and her kids. Ramona Johnson, Michaela's grandmother, said on Saturday. Cause of death is unknown at this point. A missing persons report was made on March 3rd when Johnson and her 2 children went missing from Orchard Trace Lane. However, CMPD did not notify the public until March 8th. Her grandmother says, I miss my baby, I miss my grandkids. She was a good person and everyone knows Kayla would do anything for you. She did not deserve this. No, I don't think anyone deserves to be murdered by possibly their partner. It's horrible. Is that the same update on her? Oh, let's see.
Stood behind Charlotte Police Chief Johnny Jennings after learning their missing loved one, 22-year-old Markayla Johnson, had been found dead in her apartment. Her 2 children, 4-year-old Miracle and 7-month-old Messiah Johnson, along with her.
We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that we bring closure for the family and also bring justice to the person responsible for these murders.
Jennings says they exhausted every lead into her missing persons investigation, and then they executed a search warrant into her apartment, this one right here at the top. It was also the last place that anyone had seen her.
The person that we are looking for is within the state of North Carolina and South Carolina. However, we don't know where that person is at this time, but we are actively looking for her.
Is that person the boyfriend?
She was in a relationship. That is the person that we are looking for, that she was acquainted with. That is why we want to make sure that we know that that everyone knows that it's not a random act that we're talking about.
Investigators discovered the remains Friday evening. Jennings says the investigation is still in its early stages and authorities don't have a motive. And they also did not say how the victims died. Johnson's grandmother, Ramona, says her granddaughter suffered from mental health issues, but she and her great-grandchildren did not deserve this.
Who was to say a man that she think that she loved was going to kill her? And the kids.
A missing persons report was made on March 3rd. However, CMPD did not notify the public until March 8th. Jennings says authorities didn't know what they had until they dug deeper into the investigation.
Generally, we try to get those out as quickly as possible, particularly when someone's in danger or we feel like there might be foul play involved.
I just want to say, I miss my baby. I miss my grandkids. She was a good person, and everybody knows Kaylin would do anything for you. She didn't deserve this.
Reporting in Charlotte, Shakir Speaks, Queen City News.
There we go. How awful to hear from the family like that, devastated. I was just trying to see if I could find anything about that 17-year-old who was killed in Texas under the bridge. I wanted to see if we had anything about her. Let's see. Killed a San Antonio girl. Yep, Caitlin Hernandez. Let's see if there's anything new about Caitlin. No, I don't see anything new. No arrests, no charges. Nothing. Maybe tomorrow or Monday? No, I don't see anything. The last update was that they held the memorial for her just before the weekend. They held a vigil for Caitlin Hernandez. KSAT was the paper, local paper covering it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it. 2 hours ago. Okay. Damn it. Family calls on community to come forward with information about their daughter. No, that's the different one. Desiree Riviera was shot and killed at a party on the southwest side. I can't say I know this one. Let's have a look.
Begging the community to come forward with information about the death of their daughter, Desiree Rivera. Last weekend, the 21-year-old was shot and killed at a party on the southwest side. It happened here in a building on Old Pearsall Road that's not far from I-35 and Loop 410, that interchange. And the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is still trying to figure out what happened. Just days later, the night team's Avery Everett sat down with Desiree's parents, who are just devastated.
My daughter didn't deserve this. She deserves to have justice.
A desperate plea from two parents.
Beyond San Antonio, beyond Bexar County, I know somebody out there for sure knows what happened.
It's been a week since the death of 21-year-old Desiree Rivera, and her parents, Henry and Jessica Flores, say they're doing all that they can to keep her memory alive.
As much as my heart aches right now, looking at her, puts one little Band-Aid over there.
Strong-willed and spirited. That's how they remember her.
She's beautiful inside and out.
And they say her life was stolen by gun violence.
It's very traumatic.
Rivera was shot and killed at a party on the southwest side last Saturday early in the morning. The party happened on Old Pearsall Road at what the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is calling an illegal location. The party was promoted on social media, and BCSO says a disagreement led to someone firing and hitting two people, but only Rivera died in that building.
Our daughter didn't deserve what happened to her.
Sheriff Javier Salazar said at the scene last weekend that her death was caught on camera. While devastating to the family, they know it means people saw what happened. So they're begging them to come forward and help this case.
I mean, even if it's anonymous, just come forward. When we want to feel sad, we want to feel angry, and we want to cry. But we can feel her comforting us, telling us, don't cry, don't be sad.
It's important to note that while BCSO says the location of this party was illegal, it's not necessarily illegal to have attended it. That's why they're asking anyone with more information, anyone who might have been at the party itself, or anyone who might know the shooter to come forward and give information to the sheriff's office. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
What an awful story about gun violence. Robbed this woman of her life, 21 years old, shot and killed at a southwest side party last weekend. Medical examiner said she suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Her death was ruled a homicide. A week later, they don't have any information about who killed her. So that person at the moment is roaming around the community, someone who is very reckless with a firearm. apparently. So I don't know. If you know of anything, call it in. If you're at that party and you saw something and haven't spoken to police because of the hood code and you don't want to be a snitch, well, I think the family would appreciate it if you did call in and gave them the information that you do know. You can give information anonymously through 210-335-6000 or bcsotips@bayer.org. And you can do that and remain anonymous. You don't ever have to tell anyone that you were the one who gave the information, but you'll help get a family some justice for their daughter. Ladies and gents, it is late. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you all guys all go, and we'll be back at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Earlier start time tomorrow, and we'll do another late show tomorrow night, so it'll be a good one. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's shows. I hope you did. And thank you to Green Eyed PI. I appreciate that. It was very sweet of you. Very kind to support the channel, and it's much appreciated. So until tomorrow, 9 p.m., let's all pray there's some good news in Elijah's case, in any Amber case. Any Amber case, that would be good. In Sebastian's, in Caleb's case, or any of those would be Riley's case, any of the 4 boys that are missing, like recently. It would be nice if we got better answers tomorrow on Monday. So maybe by the time we get on tomorrow night, we'll have better answers. That'd be good. Better answers are always welcome, and I'm sure the family would like that too. So until then, I'll see you. Be safe tomorrow. You never know what can happen out there. Peace out. Bye-bye, everyone. Love you all. Thanks for subscribing and being a member here. I love you all. Peace out.